Home insurance in Spain is calculated in a similar way to most other countries as you would expect, but there are one or two important differences, so keep watching as we will get onto this later in the video. Also, what insurance do you need if your community already has some kind of insurance? And what on earth is the Consorcio de Compensación de Seguros? Let's clear all that up in this video in just a few minutes. In Spain, home insurance has two main parts: the buildings insurance called Seguro de Continente and the contents insurance or Seguro de Contenido. Buildings insurance covers the physical structure and usually the permanent fixtures. The contents insurance covers your belongings: furniture, appliances, electronics, clothes, everything else you would take with you if you moved. To calculate the right amount, the buildings cover is based on the rebuild value, not the market value or purchase price. Remember, if the property is destroyed by fire, you don't need to buy the land again. If you insure your property for market value, for example, and the property ends up costing 100,000 euros less to rebuild than you have insured it for, the insurer is not going to give you the difference. Similarly, if you insure for an amount less than the rebuild cost, you aren't going to get the house rebuilt. Contents cover should reflect the cost to replace your belongings. Now, this part often causes confusion. In Spain, the fitted kitchen units, so the entire kitchen, comes under contents cover, not buildings cover. So make sure you have calculated sufficient contents cover to replace the entire kitchen. If you live in an apartment, for example, do you need buildings insurance if your community already has a policy? If you live in a flat, apartment, or other type of shared building, the community of owners may already insure the structure and shared areas. But that policy might not cover your interior walls or non-communal water pipes, for example. What if your shower waste pipe leaks and damages your neighbour's property? Well, the community policy won't cover this type of event. So you will probably need at least something called first loss buildings cover for your apartment. How you use your property also affects your insurance. If it's your main residence, then standard policies usually apply. But if you intend to rent it out, short-term or even long-term, you need to tell your insurer, even if it's only for part of the year. If the insurer is aware of the use of the property, they can calculate the correct premium and cover for your property, including public liability. The insurer will want to know the number of square meters that make up your main house, and then separately the square meters of any terracing, storerooms or parking place, for example. Additionally, they'll also need the year the property was built. If you don't know one or both of these, then look for your property's cadastral number and provide your broker with that number, and they should be able to check on the land registry for you. Your cadastral number can be found in your escritura or property deed or on the EB receipt from the town hall. So what is the Consorcio de Compensación de Seguros? Well, it's a government fund that covers extreme events, things that standard insurers don't, for example. Floods from rivers, earthquakes or other natural disasters. These are the responsibility of the Consorcio and not the insurance company. But here's the key. The Consorcio only covers you if you have already bought a valid insurance policy. If you leave the property empty for any length of time, you might want to consider taking a squatter insurance policy that will cover the legal process to evict illegal occupiers from your home. And for those of you opting to rent your property long term, you might want to consider purchasing landlord insurance in Spain to protect your rental income as well as help with the eviction legal process if necessary. Let's recap. Buildings versus contents, know what's what. Kitchens are contents in Spain. Your community insurance might not cover everything you expect in respect of your building. Tell your insurance company if you rent your property out. Think seriously about landlord or squatter insurance, and the Consorcio is there to help in the event of a catastrophe, but only if you're already insured. Still unsure? Speak with a qualified insurance advisor to make sure your cover is correct. Like this video if you found it helpful, subscribe for more tips, and drop your questions in the comments below. Thanks for watching.